Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Grab a cold one, crank up the volume, and join the show. Welcome to NBNR Live. And here we go.
It's no block, no rock.
No.
There it is.
Go big red indeed. No block, no rock. Episode 230.
230.
That's all. Coming at you from the NBNR studio in Omaha, Nebraska. Fellas, seeing as Nebraska Brewing Company is our primary sponsor, let's show off what we're drinking tonight. I got me my Pilsner, Connor, which is fine. I asked for the pickle.
There's no pickle yet. It's coming, but it's not here yet.
I forgot. We had the discussion last week about the whole thing, and I forgot.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to the pickle.
I did tell you Pilsner was coming back this week, though.
And there it is right there. It's beautiful. And it's tasty.
It's been too long.
Talk about what you got.
I actually waited till we got right here just so I could do this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good sound.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm also drinking the Pilsner. If anybody heard that part and knows who I am, they assumed that I was drinking the Pilsner. I do want to get ahead of this because I have a feeling it's going to come up at some point. This is my last episode of NBNR while I'm in my 20s. I'm not going anywhere. Sorry for everyone that got excited for those 5 seconds. No, but next week I'll no longer be in my 20s, and it feels weird. I'll finally be joining Mike, and in about 10 years be joining Jared in my 40s.
Now, I have a big target on my back.
You do.
My old back.
Yeah,
Look at you.
It's kind of a layup.
Just look at you.
Low-hanging fruit.
Mikey, what you drinking over there?
All right. I am drinking the, Stories from Nebraska coffee stout.
Yeah.
And using one of our other sponsors, Draft Top. Take the top right off.
Tweezed.
On this podcast, we are pro tops off. But keep your clothes on.
Yeah, Ben.
We're referring to the beers.
We're referring to the beers, but this thing takes your top right off, and you can drink it like a glass.
No mess this time.
Wait, dude, Mike's become a pro at those.
He's pretty good.
I'm doing okay.
They're
You know,
honestly, they're
there's a
not
little
hard to
trouble.
learn. If I'm being
No, they're
honest.
very easy. They come in like this. If you want to support the podcast, I can literally drop in an affiliate link for you guys right now. Let me do that because I'm supposed to do that. There's the affiliate link here, but these things are awesome. You can take any beer and make it into a top soft beer. And I don't know. I know you, Ben, we're going to introduce you here, but I know you said that you've been to the brewery and they used to have these 360 cans that took the top right off. And this does that for you. You can do that with anything. You can do it with the light beer. You can do it with the craft beer. It does not matter. It doesn't discriminate. It's awesome.
I would tell you those are actually better than the 360 lids. The 360 lids were great because like you just bought them off the shelf and you just pull the top off, no tool required. But you could get kind of sharp edges on them.
Yeah.
With the 360s.
This is seamless.
No sharp edge.
Yeah.
And because it cuts inside the lid, there was always this lip inside the 360s that you would lose a couple of ounces. You couldn't get it out of the can without like going totally vertical. You don't need to do that with those.
Yes.
You guys are selling the hell out of this thing.
It's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Let's turn it
No,
over
they're
to our
rad.
guests. Anyways, yes, Nebraska stories of Nebraska. It's really good. Good coffee stout. I love it.
Okay. Ben McLaughlin, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I could have walked here. I'm that close.
Yeah.
It's really a shame it took this long, honestly.
I mean, it's kind of windy out. It's kind of touch and go out there. I don't know with the Naders.
It's visually
Naders.
postseason basebone season, though, so it would be that without some controversial weather.
That's when you know.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it goes around here. When it gets to June-ish and you have, rain delay this, rain delay that. Oh, it must be time for, tournament time. We'll get into that more. But what are you drinking just real quick?
I'm also with Team Pilsner so far. So far, so good.
All right.
We'll have to try the coffee one next. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
But what a novel concept. The tops off.
Yeah.
being as a member of this side of the wall that's north of 30, right? It starts to become maybe not as socially acceptable to just shotgun, right? Like, I feel like there's an expiration date with that. Like,
unless you're on a golf course
without getting certain looks. Sure. So this is a way to certainly expedite the process without looking like a heathen.
I love it.
A degen.
Yeah, it makes you drink the beers much faster.
Yeah. I was wondering what you had going on over there, but are we really like to the point where we can't do this? But I like it.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
The coffee one, I'll go tarps off just for you boys.
Okay. We're gonna let you learn how to use it on the show.
I don't know that that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I love that you use the phrase tarps off.
I'm around 18 to 21-year-old dudes more than my wife. So I know all the youth's phrases.
Tarps off, baby.
On the bus, in the hotels. I mean, they're always teaching me stuff. So.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about feeling old? Listen to a bus conversation, but from Will Jeske to Joshua Overbeek. You'll learn. It's like they're speaking English, but they're not. It's just like, I know you guys are talking to each other, but I have no idea what you guys just said.
Well, see, and not that it's really a benefit, but I'm around high schoolers all day, so I get that too.
You get it, yeah.
And it's like this thing had a different meaning 10 years ago. You guys are completely changing the meaning of this word. I don't know the specific. I can't think of any specifics, but it's like, what are we talking about?
Well, tarps off certainly qualifies.
Tarps off.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I figure it's the most. Well, actually, hold on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to jump the gun here.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot it too.
Nebraska Brewing Company, world class.
In every glass.
There it is. Okay. Let's talk about. I don't think I'm being too bold by saying this. The face of Husker athletics. Come on. Who is it?
Jordy freaking Ball.
Listen, man. This season is unbelievable. The hype coming in 2 years ago, and then he had the unfortunate injury. And it's like, you know what? It'd be cool if she like came back and let's just say she hit like 280, and her ERA was around 3. Hell no. She said, F that. Player of the year.
She got to be. I told you right before the show started, I don't know if you zoom in. I'm wearing my Jordy Ball shirt.
Freaking A.
She is a homegrown home run. 5 at-bats, 4 home runs so far. It's just absurd. It is like I saw someone compare her to Shohei Ohtani in the MLB, and I don't like that comparison because Shohei would be so lucky to be compared to Jordy Ball right now. She's just a monster.
Generational. Like I really need people to sit here and just like really sit in this and just kind of, take it in and realize what you're watching. Because I think what you're watching, it's I'm not going to say mind-blowing because as rough as Husker athletics has been, like men's sports-wise, you have had Ndamukong Suh, Ndamukong Suh. And guys from the past, of course. But I mean, Ben, you're on the baseball side of things, but you're taking this in. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's rare air, is what it is. And I was lucky enough before I Whoa,
it's all right.
You're not the first. That was aggressive. I was lucky enough before I transitioned to Husker baseball. The last Husker softball season I was around was 2013, and that was the last College World Series team. And that team was special because you had all kinds of parts contributing to getting there, right? You think about what the Edwards sisters did, both in the circle and behind home plate with Taylor and Tatum. And then you had Kiki Stokes and Brooke Thomason and Alicia Armstrong. And you had all these parts that were kind of contributing. Haley Decker, right? Like all these pieces. And it was like, man, we're really freaking good. Like there's no team out there that we can't compete against. Super regional next year. I believe they were in Alabama in 2014, but making it all the way to OKC, like that was a hosted regional year. Big Ten tournament was in Lincoln that year. They beat a good Stanford team to get to the Super. Then they had to go to Oregon and win that Super, and they did. And then just two brutal, heartbreaking losses in OKC, extra innings to Washington, and then like a 12-inning game to Florida. That was crazy. Nate and I were down there doing those games, and it was just like, man, like you're looking at Oklahoma and Florida and all these powerhouse softball programs, and the Huskers are here. Like, this is freaking cool to see our flag flying in the outfield. When that was over, you felt like it was going to be a long time before that happened again. Well, then Jordy Ball comes home, and exactly what you said. I'll never forget where I was on my couch watching the stream against, I believe it was Washington, when she tears her ACL.
Oh, yeah.
Going, you have got to be kidding me. Like, you could see it on her face on the stream. And of course, you're automatically assuming the worst, and certainly, ends up missing the year. Just the worst possible case scenario. And you're wondering, is this always going to be Nebraska? Can we never have nice things?
Right.
Like,
That's
that's almost like how we all felt. Well, the first glimpse of what Jordy Ball did was rehab, and everything that she said, she's very passionate about her religion and, her belief, and she believing in a bigger purpose of her coming home. And now you're seeing it manifest on the field, and it is really cool to watch. Like, obviously setting school records in the circle, but not hitting really in her college career and dumping in a school record home runs. Like,
she's fourth in the NCAA to join the 2020 club.
It's insane. So back when I would do Sports Nightly with Greg back in the day when I was doing talk radio, every once in a while we'd have a player enter alien status conversation, is what we would say.
Yeah, I like that.
She's alien status.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
That's great. Alien.
Like, you will not see this again. And when we have players have great seasons in Husker baseball, like, we make it a thing. Hey, like right now I'm saying it about Dylan Carey at shortstop, right? Like, no, he's not hitting 390. He's not hitting 40 homers, but he is playing really dang good defense, and it's fun to watch. And so we're saying, hey, we have Max Anderson. We have Bryce Matthews. Right. Enjoy them while we have them, because these guys don't come around too often. Schwelly.
That was kind of like and I don't want to say this. I don't want to disrespect Schwelly at all, because God, he's a baller. But like, he's almost just what Jordy's doing. He's almost like a poor man's Jordy. Yeah. Like, that's how good she is.
I don't think that's disrespecting Schwelly.
Yeah,
I think it's just showing how good Jordy Ball is.
Yeah. But it's just like, you have to remind people, like, this isn't normal. Like,
no.
Watch every at bat, every pitch, and just be glad that you have it, because there are programs that'll go 100 years wishing they had a Jordy Ball. One part of Jordy Ball's game.
Yeah.
So yeah, just enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. I don't know what's going to happen this weekend, but I know she's going to put on a show just like everybody else. It's been special.
Yeah, you cannot take this for granted. I mean, you were talking about the 2020 club. I mean, there's talk that she could be the 25 and be the first to do that. It's like,
it's not unreasonable to think that could happen
if they pitched to her.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
So that's
who wants to pitch to her?
That was
I wouldn't.
So this happened in the last few days that she hits that 2020 club, right? And we were actually in Kansas City, I believe, and I, pulled up the highlights, and everyone around me was like, why the hell are they still throwing to her? And I was like, it's somebody's cocky enough to think they can do it. They can strike her out, and they're just not good enough. I'm sorry. Like, Jordy Ball is an alien. Like, you need to just walk her.
Yeah.
Just
alien
send
status.
her on.
Well, and that's the thing, is like, being around the team, and you mentioned Schwelly, right? Like, we knew Schwelly was a freak when he looked like Napoleon Dynamite when he got to campus. Right? Yeah. Like, it's good. He did. And all of his teammates said the same. Jackson Hallmark was the ringleader in that.
Do you think they had tots in the dining hall?
And that's the thing, is like, I'm surprised any of them were old enough to remember that movie.
Yeah.
But I remember two things jump out immediately to Schwelly. One, that he had all kinds of arm issues and couldn't pitch until his last year. And everyone, Darren would tell us, and Bolt would tell us, like, he's a better pitcher than he is a shortstop. And you watch him play short, and you go, no, there's no way. There's no way. This dude's a freak. And I'll never forget it. We're driving down to Arkansas, right, for the regional in 2021. And I'm on you guys know they're crazy about baseball down there. Every radio station has me on when we're driving down there. And that was the Arkansas team that won every series. They won the regular season. They won the SEC tournament. They were the number one team by a landslide that year. And they were talking to us about Kevin Kopps and Jackie Battles and Robert Moore and all these guys they had. And I'm like, we have a Kevin Kopps on our team. Like, it was almost like they wanted me on their show to tell them how great Arkansas was. I'm petty enough that I didn't do that. I wanted to talk about our team.
I love that.
I was like, Kevin Kopps is great. We have a Kevin Kopps, except he bats third and plays shortstop. And they were like, no way. And of course, what Schwelly do? I mean, he comes in and he throws 60 pitches against Arkansas. His arm is just dangling. And he gets the pop out. We beat Arkansas. He gets a more than a few hits in the regional. Like, he more than proved my point to everybody in Arkansas. And I remember when we lost that just heartbreaking Monday game. I don't ever do this, but I made it a point to wait for the team to come out of the locker room because I wanted to wait for Schwelly. I just talked to his mom and dad before, and we all knew he was leaving. Like, he'd be dumb to stay. And he came out, and I put my hands on his shoulders. I've never told anybody this. I put my hands on his shoulder, and I looked at him, and I said, Schwelly, you are a program-changing player. Thanks for being a Husker. And he kind of broke down. I broke down. It was like one of those moments that just like, man, it sucks that he's gone. Right. Sure. And Jordy is the exact same way. And of course, now Schwelly has a legit chance to be a Cy Young contender.
No kidding. Insane. It's funny that you say, Will Bolt says that he's actually a better pitcher, and everybody like all Nebraska baseball fans heard that too. Yeah. But nobody had really seen it. And then now we go and turn the page, and the dude is just tearing up Major League Baseball. I'd love to see them. I wish that the NL could still hit. Right. That's all I got to say.
I know.
That'd be awesome.
I think that's something you mentioned that a lot of Husker baseball fans forget. Not us, because we're sickos. But that 2021 regional where we dropped to Arkansas, one of the top teams, if not the top team that year, I believe.
Oh, they were number one.
Yeah, number one.
Start to finish. Yeah.
They were lucky to escape Nebraska. And obviously it sucked to lose in regionals, but it was one of those, like that Monday game. Game ends, and I looked at it and I was like, dude, that's still a massive win.
They shouldn't have played Arkansas anyway.
We should not have been in that regional. That's another argument.
Nebraska is literally the punching bag of like every committee.
Oh, yeah.
Like it happened to us in baseball. It's happened to us in basketball. Like, they love writing headlines because Nebraska fans care.
But here's what I find, and this was in a separate group chat today, was that it would appear that Trevor's taken the curse from us and taken it to A&M.
You hate to see
A&M softball, the first number 1 overall seed to not advance to Super.
What an awesome game. I don't know if you guys stayed up to watch that.
Incredible.
That was freaking sweet.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I'm always rooting for the underdog. I'm rooting a little extra hard if they're playing in College Station.
Yeah, of course.
Why? How cool was that? I mean, they bring in a pitcher that hadn't thrown all weekend against that offense, and she goes and throws 2 innings against the heart of their order. Yeah. And preserves a 1-run lead. Like, that is awesome. That's what sports are all about.
It was beautiful. And then you've got Texas A&M baseball starting the season, preseason number 1, that they're probably going to miss the SEC tournament. They finished 14th in their own conference, preseason number 1. I think Trev took the curse. I think that's what we needed.
Listen, man, it's one thing. It wouldn't even matter if Trev was there or not. I love watching Texas A&M lose, because they think they are just hot shit. And what? Again, I'm asking again, and I hope that there's a Texas A&M fan watching right now. What are the odds? Okay. But type in the chat. What have you ever won? Still waiting for that answer.
They did last March, not this most recent, but the one prior. They did prevent us getting our first March Madness win ever. I know that because we were all there.
Wow. Yeah. You prevented Nebraska basketball from not winning a tournament game for the 120th straight year. Cool.
Yeah.
Congrats on that.
They got that. It was really shitty timing to get. And like, we knew that like, we're going to draw A&M. But I mean, other than that,
what have you won? And you can talk about your 1920s Southwest Conference fake title that you're probably like 8-3 or something.
Johnny Manziel got him a Heisman.
Oh,
That means nothing to me.
I don't know.
Nothing.
A Heisman means something.
Who did they play in the bowl? Was it Duke? Who did they play in the bowl game that year? No, I'm not saying that to be a jerk, but like I think they played Duke that year.
They played a basketball school.
And I think, yeah.
I feel like this was targeted.
He's a Duke basketball
I just want
fan,
you to know I
so-
had nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
No, just like
I prefer backdoor.
I didn't say normally. I didn't say that.
just now.
You don't get to use the button.
Dude, your little, I have to say normally how many times I can push the button. Those don't apply when I'm on the keys. I'm just telling you that now. That's a Kyle
It
thing.
is still a maximum of 2.
I will find
Mike
one
has
more time.
Mike has the nuclear codes.
I do.
Back
They're right here.
I don't like that.
I will. Nope, not gonna do it. Gosh, there's just a part of me that I kind of want to move on to baseball, but it's Jordy Ball. And hey, coming back next year too. Coming back next year.
Don't forget.
Rhonda Revelle. I feel like this is kind of like her swan song a little bit. She's been there a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. I just get the feeling that we're going to go all in, especially next year. Got to get some weapons around Jordy, and you're going to have a legit shot to win a natty.
Think about what they brought in this year,
Mhm.
knowing that Jordy was coming.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it's the Jordy effect. Like,
Yeah.
if you bring her, they
They
will
will
come.
come.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like, people want to play with greatness. They do. You know, it's a little bit like Dylan, right? Like, people want to come here. They want to come and they want to play with players that are going to help them reach the pinnacle. And that's part of it.
Elevate.
Mhm.
And that's not to say that the players around Jordy are not good. Like we just said, they brought in some nice players, and we had Nate Rohr on last week, and we had asked,
What a legend.
dude,
Nate's fun.
That
He's
dude is a
unbelievable.
good
Fun.
guy.
If you guys knew some of the conversations, the 3 a.m. conversations Nate and I had back in the day, you like, I don't know. We speak a different language. Nate's awesome.
can you
Much like
maybe
Overbeek and all those guys.
There was one time, this is back when I was a full-time producer. I wasn't even on air yet, but Josh Hilkeman, who's my producer now, we would, be up super late on Friday nights before Saturday producing features, and we had a 12.5-hour broadcast, so we were there pumping the midnight oil. Love Nate to death. Nate is a procrastinator, 100%. Nate also over prepares more than any human individual I've ever met. So I'm walking out there. There's probably 3:30 in the morning, and I have a photo of it. I'll show you guys. Nate, and this is back when I had like a BlackBerry. We're talking like 2018, 2019.
With a little ball or no?
Oh yeah. Oh, of course.
Oh, man.
Nate is passed out in his office, like in his reclining chair, with his mouth just wide open, like. I'm like, oh, this is so good. So I walk up and I walked up and just snapped a photo of him. But like, man, yeah, we had some adventures together back in the day. Anyway,
no, I was just gonna say, had Nate Rohr on last week. We were talking about what are the keys for Nebraska to advance, and it was really nice of LSU to get really scared of Jordy Ball, and they clenched up and said
Twice.
"Oh, we don't want to face her." So that was cool. That was nice of them. But he had mentioned that you're going to have Jordy. It's going to be difficult for Jordy to win 3 games in 3 days. Can you get another win from someone else on the staff? And so that just gets me thinking of next year. Can you get another ace to just round it out? Because those bats, man, those bats are loud.
yeah, not to keep taking it back to 2013, but Tatum Edwards, Emily Lockman. I mean, you basically had a 1-2 punch there that was legit, and Nebraska was able to. They both pitched, and they both pitched very well in that Women's College World Series. So yeah, I mean, you almost need it. You saw it with A&M. Yeah, they had 4 pitchers, but they were all getting lit up, against Liberty, and it was beautiful to watch.
Don't nobody want to go to Texas A&M
I don't.
with Trev there?
Bunch of weirdos. They're
No. Wrong word.
Oh, freaks.
Freaks.
That's what it is.
You bunch of freaks.
A bunch of freaks.
Still haven't commented with what you've ever won. And
They got that oil money though.
they sure do.
And
They're burning a lot of money in for what?
And that AD has a tongue of a serpent. You remember that? That was good.
Texas Trev. They tell me he's a good AD.
right. Can
Where? I haven't seen it.
Can I move the conversation to baseball because I have
Please
a
do.
burning question for you guys.
Okay.
Oh, burning.
Are we still in this pool play shit?
People fear what they do not understand.
Do you?
And
okay,
I am.
so
I hate it. I hate it.
I
fucking
hate it.
Of
Like
course.
I have now read through countless articles about this. I think it's the dumbest shit in the world. Can someone explain to me why it isn't? Can someone give me a good argument for this system?
Well, just based off what I've heard, it's you get to reward teams that were better during the regular season. It's like more rewarding for them in case you hit a tiebreaker, and the higher seeded teams are benefiting from that.
Let me ask you this. I'm just playing devil's advocate because I haven't given my opinion yet.
Yeah.
Would it change your mind knowing there were different tiebreaker rules?
No.
No.
Okay, that's fair.
No.
Or would the number of teams change your mind? So, like, instead of 4 pods of 3, you did 3 pods of 4, and you played.
No,
Three
I
opponents.
still hate the pool play.
Okay.
I thought, the traditional tournament format was beautiful. I mean,
For the record, I don't disagree with you.
yeah,
Right.
no, that's fair. I'm just saying, like, Jared, you say this rewards teams that perform better during the regular season. To that, I say, this is the Big Ten tournament. I don't give a shit what you did during the regular season. Win in the tournament. We saw last year, Nebraska loses in the first game against Ohio State. What'd they do for the rest of that tournament?
5 straight.
Win. They won. There was nothing was given to anybody. You had to win.
Sure.
And especially with Nebraska ending up winning that tournament, you started at a detriment and then pulled through. I don't give a shit what you did during the regular season. I don't want to reward anybody. This isn't the NCAA tournament. Win.
I'm with you. I mean, that's why you're seated the way you are, is based off what you did before.
Yeah.
So
you
now you're
already
seated
got
this-
a reward.
I hear you.
Yeah, and I think for me, like, the Big Ten just as a whole is so far behind, like, as a conference when it comes to everything. Little things like we're the only conference that plays on Easter. Why are we the only conference in America that doesn't adjust our schedule like everybody else and play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and not play on Easter?
Does that mean we're the closest to God? People are asking.
No.
Are we God's conference? I don't know. I'm not saying we are. I'm asking you.
It would shock me if that's the way our league thinks, right? Like, but to me, so it's scheduling. Like, it took our baseball coaches forever to figure out. We can't just, not to just throw all the shade on Iowa, but they're the conversation this year, right? Like, you are literally 9 innings away from a regular season conference championship. You lose that game, and now you got work to do to make a regional. That's a problem. Like, you can't schedule in a way where you're 150 plus in strength of schedule and put yourself in a position where you have to win the tournament, or you have to have that piece to your resume to be a regular season champion to get in. Like, you are doing yourself a massive disservice, because not only is your RPI suck, which is their biggest hindrance right now, but what Nebraska dealt with Purdue this last weekend. Purdue, for the longest time, was just a paperweight in the league because they would schedule rummies, and they did again this year, right? And that we said the same thing about them last year, that they were a fraud, and they were. Like, when you're having a strength of schedule of 180, you're dragging not only your RPI down, but everybody else in the conference down with you. Nebraska, with Darren Erstad and Coach Bakich at Michigan, they understood that we have to schedule aggressively to give ourselves a position at the end of the year to get an at-large bid, and not just have a cool looking record at the end of the year, even though we're not even going to get a look when it comes to an at-large bid. Iowa's yet to figure that out. And so they're suffering the consequences from it this year. So again, Big Ten just as a whole, they're always so late to the party. And I think, we're at it again with the tournament format. I'm not as against it as maybe some are, but I hate the fact that the tie-breaking rules are what they are, right? Like, obviously you want to benefit the teams that played well during the regular season. If that's your mentality, you give seeds 5 through whatever no incentive to play if you lose your first game.
Yeah.
How can you have a tournament where there's the possibility, and dare I say the guarantee, that you're going to have meaningless games?
Yeah.
What kind of tournament is that?
Not only
What
that,
are we
but
doing?
to tie it all together, right? I just talked about RPI. So as a league, if you only have the automatic bid and maybe one or two at larges, and credit the Big Ten, they've had some damn good baseball teams. The Illinois teams, the Indiana teams. There was that Purdue team in 2012.
Michigan was good.
Michigan makes the run to the national championship in 2019. Like, you've got teams that can get there, but why make it harder to get another team in postseason play? Because this is going to completely favor teams that are already in anyway.
Mhm.
Like, why would you not want, like that year Iowa won it as a 4 seed? Why would you not want somebody to come in and steal a bid and get somebody else in postseason? Like, don't you want your brand out there? You want Big Ten baseball to be seen. You're taking that opportunity away by having the format. Maybe is a little strong, but at least the tie-breaking structure in place, because all the seeds are just going to get, benefited to the top four seeds.
Ben, you ask, Big Ten, don't you want your brand out there? I don't think they care.
That's the sad part.
It's so Iowa, how many quad 1 wins? Fucking 0.
Oh, not to mention they dip out on games again.
Yeah.
Let's do that again, right? Let's just not play the games just to help out our already shitty RPI. What are we doing?
What's funny about that is I put out a tweet about that.
I saw it.
And one of the Iowa beat writers tweeted back at me and said, well, I talked to Coach Heller and he said, XYZ. You mean to tell me that the coach that canceled the game didn't tell you straight up that he's trying to protect his RPI?
Weird.
That's crazy.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's just, the game wouldn't have made any sense. It didn't make any sense for you to schedule it in the first place.
Right.
How about instead of UIC, you schedule UC, put Cincinnati on your schedule. It's at least a Big 12 team. Let's change it up a little bit and maybe get more aggressive. And the funny part is, here's the irony, is baseball is always a fair game, right? Like, that ultimately, that's all I care about. Like, I don't care who you schedule, but don't manipulate what you put together in the first place to make your situation better. What's funny is, not even a week later, they have a game against Oregon State in which they're tied in on Sunday. That results in a tie because of a travel curfew. And they were saying, well, what could have happened to our RPI had we won that game? Had we finished that game and won it, our RPI would have been, even if we lost, it would have went up 10 points.
Yeah.
You should have thought of that in February.
Yeah.
Idiots.
It's just more about the format too. Maybe I heard wrong, but I think the ACC tried this and they said, nah, this is no good. And I think the SEC might have even tried it. I think
They're in a similar thing where it's like the bottom 4 play and then they play the middle 4. There's like a double bye involved in Hoover. It's a weird setup that they've got down there too, but they all get into the tournament anyway.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter.
And, maybe this becomes hey, Big Ten, you're not as strong as these other conferences, even though you brought in these West Coast teams and that's upping the reputation a little bit, but maybe you don't have 12. Maybe you just have 8. Nebraska still would have made it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd like 8. As long as Nebraska makes it.
Yeah. And look, I am bitter because we have a crap matchup, right? We got to face Jerwa, who's a 6'9" lefty who is nasty.
Ben,
Tuesday.
People are looking at this game and they're going, the lowest seeded team.
Now,
It's a dub.
You
told them. Probably the best pitcher in the freaking league.
We saw him. I saw him in East. Josh Karen hit a ball that hadn't landed yet against him. But other than that, that dude is filthy. Like, he is so good. 6'9", whippy lefty. Runs it up in the midnight. Oregon, right? Top 5 in the country. Complete game, 3-hitter, 11 strikeouts, no walks. That didn't happen by accident.
Damn it, Ben.
The sky is falling.
No, it's not. Listen, you can still be optimistic about this. Hey, listen, we were sitting here a month ago, and we were doubting that this team would even make the tourney to begin with.
Yeah.
Then they go out and they finish the season by winning 5 straight Big Ten series, which was nice. The offense, I think you've seen an uptick. Overbeek's been freaking just hot as lava. The pitching staff, here's what gives me a little bit of hope, I guess, is like, I don't know when exactly Will Walsh will pitch, but he turns into Greg Maddux in Omaha. Just every time he pitches in Charles Schwab, he's Maddux. But, the goal for Childress is always 3 strikeouts per walks. They finish the season under 2. It's like, it's a little underwhelming, but, Brockett pitched pretty well this year. ERA under 4. But it's like, other than that, I don't know about the pitching staff.
Hey, can I hold? Let me jump in really quick because we do have a comment in our chat from Eric. He said he gave us a $10 super chat. Eric and, said, "Hey boys, finally got around to supporting the pod. Thank Benny for doing an awesome job for Husker Baseball Radio this season." So,
Eric.
Hey, shout out to Eric.
Eric, you're
supporting the pod.
All right, give me that applause
Eric.
button
And
over there.
supporting our good friend Betty Mack over here.
Thank you, Eric. You're a legend. Thanks for listening.
Heck
Appreciate
yeah.
everybody.
This is great. Yeah, we got 100 people on here listening to you. So,
Shout out to all you guys.
yes. See?
Listening to us right now when you could be out chasing storms or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Or imaginary ones.
Or anything else.
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to add anything to that,
Yeah.
it's just, we talk about must-win games. And, hey, last year, they didn't have to win that first game, right? But I feel like you definitely have to win this
Yeah.
first game.
Oh, 100%.
Like, there's no other choice.
Like, and I'll preface this by saying, and I haven't done a good enough job maybe vocalizing this on our broadcast because 1, I don't like to make excuses, and 2, just get caught up in the day-to-day. We have not made a big enough deal about losing Mason McConaughey. Like,
Oh, yeah.
This isn't losing just a guy that is going to pitch for you. This is losing a bona fide ace, a bona fide All-American candidate who is going to be an absolute workhorse for your pitching staff, right? 100 innings, we're talking, right?
Yeah.
Losing him hurt. Like, if you tell me before the year, all right, give me 3 guys you can't afford to lose, the first guy out of my mouth without hesitation is 51. Like, there's not even a hesitation. And then you lose Tucker Timmerman the next week. Like, that week, the Vanderbilt game. Now you're talking 130 to 150 innings that you have to cover. Like, this isn't losing a Tuesday starter. This isn't losing your bridge guy. These are losing maybe, no disrespect to Drew Christo or Luke Broderick, maybe the 2 most important pieces to your staff for 1 for the whole year, 2 for just south of 2 months. So I know Walsh, knowing Will as well as I do, I know he's super frustrated with how the last month has gone because he's a competitor and he knows this is it for him. But you got to give him a Superman cape for what he did, putting a Band-Aid on the knife wound, so to speak, of losing Mason for as long as he did, right? Walsh, I love him to death. He's not a Friday night guy in the Big Ten. He's a 4-pitch guy. He's pitched for 100 years in this league. Everybody's got a scouting report on him. His stuff hasn't changed that much. Like, what Will does to still get outs blows my mind. A little bit like Kyle Kubat when he was here.
Yeah. Kubat's
a
he
friend
was
of
on
the
our
pod,
show.
yeah.
He's a friend of the pod.
Shout out to Coobs.
We love Coobs.
Like guys like that, you have to execute pitches 100% of the time or you're going to get hit. The hitters are too good in this league. But you get Timmerman back, and to what you're saying, Ty Horn and Jackson Brockett the last month are the singular reason why we've won 5 straight series, because those guys are pitching the best they have really their entire careers. Now, Jax obviously had the no-hitter against K-State and threw his balls off against Penn State in the championship game.
Right. But
they've been as consistent as you could have hoped for on Saturdays and Sundays, and Nebraska's just tried to make it work on Fridays. So we don't make enough about Mason being injured. But to your point about the pitching staff and the walks, right, what's the result of that? Tucker's gone, right? Now you're covering 60 innings of relief. That means Gavin Blachowicz. That means Price Bender. That means Colin Novacek. That means Blake Encarnacion. Guys that, if Nebraska had a perfect scenario, might redshirt 1 or 2 of these guys.
Not ready, probably.
And now they're throwing, I think Price has thrown maybe in 17 games this year. Novacek's probably 12. Blachowicz, who has been awesome this year, I think is at 17 or 18. So that's going to come. That part of it's going to come when you're covering that much, is when their guys are having to develop on the fly. It's just go. Like sink or swim, we need you to go pitch. And that's the unevenness that you get with the statistics.
Yeah, and if you just strictly look at that, you're going to see ERAs above 5. You have a 7, and I don't know how much you pay attention to social media or any of that stuff, but like people giving Childress grief, and it's like your points about those two guys being gone. And yeah, you could come back and say, well, look, that's part of it's going to happen. Pitchers are fragile little creatures, right? And so you got to have a deep staff. You got to be ready. And I get that, but we're talking about Rob Childress here, okay?
Yeah.
And I hate to I don't want to be the guy that just anoints coaches as if they are gods, all knowing, whatever. But Rob Childress knows. Okay, he's fire him.
No.
Well, you're not going to fire Rob Childress.
Absolutely not.
He's going to leave on his own terms.
I just got 2 words to say to that. Brett Sears.
Right?
Yeah.
Like also on our show.
Shout out to the White Snake. What a ledge.
Yeah.
Like this dude went from maybe not pitching ever again to Big Ten Pitcher of the Year in a matter of 4 months.
Yeah.
We
like Brett Sears. He came and was sitting in that seat. He came in our studio, as did Tyler Stone. So
Stoney.
Yeah, we've had some good baseball players tell their story on this show.
I love it.
It's freaking awesome.
Well, so Jared, you mentioned that pitchers. What was the word you said?
Fragile little creatures.
Fragile little creatures.
Sorry, guys.
No, I
mean to the pitchers.
So like, I know what you're saying.
Tucker, hey, listen, Tucker Timmerman, not a fragile little creature.
He might have fragile face bones, but he's not a fragile individual.
That is still
scary,
the most iconic picture of all time.
Scary human.
Beautiful.
Scary human.
But I would compare pitchers to kickers, right? It's very mental when you're out there. Like those guys, when they get on the hill, they know the talent they have, right? And so these guys that we're talking about is like maybe they could have redshirted, and maybe they're not having the best season in the world right now. I think it helps developing down the road. It's like, hey, you got thrown straight into the fire. This season could have gone better. We could have beaten Creighton. Could have, but
yeah. Go on. Sorry.
No, like one way or another, we're going to have to get this out of the way. Like you're going to have these experiences. And I think, coming down the road, they'll be back on that hill and they'll be more comfortable. You're going to get shelled. At some point in your career, you're going to get shelled.
I think Kyle Kubat told us about that too. Like he kind of got thrown in early, and he talked about like having those growing pains of pitching at this level. And then by the time he got done at Nebraska, like getting creative and finding ways to get guys out. And then, he had a long career in the minor leagues, and now he coaches volleyball, and I see him regularly. So
was Kubat drafted by, I want to say, the White Sox?
Yeah, he was in the White Sox org for a while.
Yeah.
So,
well, even just think about Ty Horn. I mean, that's the example this year. It's exactly what you're saying. I think he's led up a team high in homers. And after the first, and this is completely unfair to judge Ty on this scale because his first starts were against Vanderbilt, LSU, Oregon State. Like,
the easy guys.
Like poor Ty is stuck, having to go against dudes. And, he's getting lit. And for a dude that throws 95 and in nowhere, Kansas, and you're able to just throw heaters you can't hit my fastball. My curveball might suck today, but I got old number 1 and it's going to get you out every time.
Yeah.
In college, you can't do that. If you groove 95, they're going to hit it a ton. Yep. Right. And look at what he's done. Like he's been able to put all that behind him in the last month. There's a reason why he's getting the ball tomorrow. Like he's a guy that's going to come in and do his thing, and he's confident, and there's a reason why Ty is a character, and I love the kid to death. There's a reason why he took his recruiting photo with frosted tips. Like,
that's the coolest shit I've ever seen, by the way.
That's the most Ty Horn thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There's a reason why, if you listen to the games, a lot of the chirping that either Purdue or Kansas or Oregon State, who else am I missing? All that chirping is directed at number 20, and it's not by accident. Like, but Ty also is like, whatever. I'm still going to strike you out. And like, but that's the mentality you have to have as a pitcher. And that's why Ty is going to be very, very good by the time he's done here.
That goes to your point about pitchers being a little cuckoo.
Yeah. Well, and so I almost wonder if Ty's one of those guys that maybe wants to be a lightning rod, that direct all of your attention to me, because now for the rest of this game, you're not looking at anybody else out here. You're focused on me and nothing else. And especially as a guy like Ty, I feel like that's maybe what he wants.
So
give me everything.
Let me give you an example.
All the smoke.
This happened Saturday, right? Like, I don't know if you guys paid attention to the series, but it got real chippy. Like, Purdue was mouthing off for no reason. Like, their season was done. It was over. They walk us off. Their catcher's over in front of our dugout, like doing the come on, let's fight thing. Ty had started that game, and a guy hit a base hit to right field and was chirping him as he runs up first base. Like, it got chippy. And a lot of it was directed at Ty. And Ty, to his credit, didn't get too involved. But then Saturday happened, and we're just bludgeoning them, right? And like all the suspense is gone in the ballpark. Like, it's senior day, it's quiet. Like, who do you think's out getting the bats with that catcher standing right there when we're scoring 5 runs an inning?
I can imagine.
Ty Horn.
Yeah.
And there's one time I look down and he picks up the bat and he just smiles at the catcher. Like, doesn't say a word, but like,
Little punk.
I don't know if it was the Frost homer or it was maybe Hayden Lewis's double late in the game. We're about to 10 run him, and he goes out and picks up. He doesn't say a word. He just picks up the bat and just smiles at him. And like, I obviously know what's going on, but there's nobody else on the ballpark other than me and maybe those two individuals picked up on that. But like, you got to be sick for that kind of behavior. And that's exactly how he is, though. But he's that confident in himself that like, we're better than you and I'm better than you. Whether he is or not, he believes that he is. It's Jake Myers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's Jake Myers who couldn't break glass with his fastball. You ask Jake, hey, Jake, how hard do you throw? I don't know, 98? No, it's like 84, 83. But he believes, and there's a reason why he's a big league center fielder. Like, you have to have that gumption, that just confidence that you're going to beat whoever's across from you no matter what happened the day before.
You want to know the first sign of confidence? Having your picture taken with frosted tips.
That's
That's the first sign.
You really don't care what others say or think about you.
If you look like a Backstreet Boy in your pictures, you probably don't give too much of a fuck.
Yeah.
You're unhinged.
I love Ty. Ty's amazing.
I guess, you can't help but think back to last year and the kind of run that you saw from Swanee. I mean, Jesus Christ. Dude. Like what he did during that span is what Jordy Ball's done all year. But going to this tournament, it just gets me thinking about the format and how just mad it makes me. But is there a guy that you can see maybe going on a little bit of a heater here to the level of Swanee?
Oh, man.
What do you think?
Here's the crazy thing about that no one talks about. That whole alien mode that he went on started with a walk. It was a 12 pitch at bat that he walked on against Purdue.
Purdue.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with just crapping all over Purdue, by the way. Like,
we're fine doing that as well.
West Lafayette sucks.
Like, we've ended their season 3 years in a row. But
because of the freaking shenanigans they pulled a few years ago, and that doesn't help. But go on, sorry.
You said it, not me.
Yep.
But it started with a walk, and then he just starts going nuclear. Like, that was one of the coolest things ever to watch. And if you know Gabe, like, Gabe wants it so bad. Like, so you can see it, the white in his knuckles when he grips the bat, how bad he wants it. Like,
wants it too bad.
One of the best kids you'll ever be around. So that was so cool for him to get to experience that. But to answer your question, I mean, there's a few guys that come to mind that kind of have to. Like, if we're going to go on a run, that you have to. And those are your dudes that you've been talking about, really all season. But, when you start piecing together, like, I mean, Overbeek was a big unsung hero of the tournament last year. Like, he was on base a ton, some extra base hits. Like, your dudes need to be your dudes, and then you need to find, lightning in a bottle with somebody. And I won't put it on one, but I'll say the combo of Silva and Bolin, like, those guys, and there's a reason why they've both been batting leadoff and while poor Beauty's been sick and just can't play. That's another thing too, is like, he's a freaking weapon. And I don't know what his status is for the week. We'll just have to wait and see how he's feeling. But, if it's still a Bolin Silva combo, like when those guys are on base, good things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And no, they're not driving the ball to the ballpark like Gabe Swanson, but they're setting the table. There's a ton of things you can do when those guys are on base. They can steal, they can hit and run. I mean, Bolin has got it done in so many sexy ways that's not going to show up in a box score, like putting a bat on a ball, a safety squeeze, executing a hit and run. Like, those things get the crowd going. And that's the biggest thing we have for us when these tournaments are up the road, is you get those people on their feet and going, like, that gets in the minds of the people that we're playing against. So if those guys can get on base, I'm confident in Brumbaugh's been a 300 hitter all year. Overbeek's going to be there. Swanson, hopefully Stone's wrist is good. He's still coming back from just bad luck getting hit with a 96 mile an hour heater right in the wrist. Nothing's broken. But it's just a pain tolerance thing at this point. And, DC needs to be DC, and guys just need to step up. Like, tomorrow night, it's going to come down to, are we getting hits with guys on base? Like, when they're throwing a guy like that, whether it's in the Big Ten tournament or where it's a first weekend in February, or it's a regional or it's a College World Series, like, when you're facing Paul Skeens, if you got a guy on second base, you better drive him in. Like, because you're not stringing 3-4 hits together against arms like that. When you get opportunities, you got to take advantage of them.
I like you saying Silva and Bolin, because you think of where they're playing. Okay. Big Park. Now, last year it was Swanee and Karen hitting freaking jacks.
That was fun.
Over and over and over and over. And that's rare, especially in that park. So I imagine, Silva and Bolin in the small ball. We used to call it bolt ball.
Yeah.
Putting the ball in play.
That was his thing. And then we just learned how to hit it out of the ballpark or off the wall. So
look, if you're going to do that, then do that.
Yeah, that's cool too. Slugging's cool too.
Hey, Butenbach, hey, man. Damn. What could have been with him too?
Oh, man.
Damn. So
what a story. Like, this dude, I think, had 2 at-bats last year and goes to the Northwoods, because I get weekly updates from our guys on, statistics and whatever. And Butenbach's hitting 560 with 8 dongs and like 40 stolen bases. What
the hell?
Alien? What are you talking about?
Yeah. That's borderline alien.
And you can watch the Northwoods games on ESPN Plus. I'm like, all right. I got to watch one of these things and figure it out.
Yeah.
Not even kidding you. First at bat, gone. I'm like, we might got something here, boys.
Yeah.
Let's see how he is when he gets back in the fall. Same thing in the fall.
Yeah.
And so we meet with the coaches every February before the season. Who was the first guy I asked about? It wasn't about Dylan Carey. It wasn't about Will Walsh. It was Beauty. Right, tell me about Max Butenbach.
Yeah.
Is this guy legit? Started the season batting number 2 as our DH. Like, it's real. Like, you guys remember Scott Schreiber?
Yeah.
They wear the same number.
Mm-hmm.
He swings just like him. Like, he's going to have back problems in 5 years. He swings the bat. But when he connect, the ball is just absolute rockets off his bat.
There is a question in the chat, I guess, about him. Yeah. They said, will he be back for the tournament? Any updates?
Don't know. And it's not me being coy. It's like truly a day-to-day thing. They didn't know if he'd be able to go to Purdue until day before. So he's working with the team docs. He's working with, obviously, his parents and the coaching staff on all that, obviously making sure he's feeling well, but conditioning, is his strength still there from being sick this long? Like,
yeah,
there's things going on there that we truly don't know. But believe me, Max if Max can play, Max is going to play.
You talk about him throwing out his back. It's like, listen, Max, I care about you as a person, and I know you're going to end up in a back brace in a few years, but if you can help us hang a few banners in the meantime, it'll all be worth it.
Let's go win this tournament again.
Yeah. Guys like that are so awesome too, because like Will Jeske, same way. Like, every time they put that jersey on, like, it means something to them. Like, the Lincoln kid, Jordy Ball, same way. It's like, it's not somebody coming for 1 year and just like, oh, this is my last stop, hoping to get drafted, hoping to do whatever, XYZ. It's like, this is what I've been waiting for my whole life to put this jersey on. Mojo Hagee was the same way.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
Mojo's a dog.
Like, this is what I'm about. is this jersey. And that's what makes guys like that special. That's what makes guys like that play past their talent level. I mean, Mojo Hagee is not a 300 hitter in D1 baseball when you look at him.
Yeah.
Right.
But you put that Husker jersey on him and supernatural stuff happens.
That's, I think, and maybe I'm short selling this. This might be recency bias, but I think over the last 4 to 5 years, I think we've seen a lot more players across all sports just have that same love for the N than I remember seeing prior to that. Like there obviously were some on every team, but now under Matt Rule's leadership for the football team, Will Bolt, obviously we don't have to talk about the GOAT and volleyball. That was always there. But like it feels like a lot of these players that we look at right now want to succeed not only for themselves, but they're doing it because they love being a Husker. Am I crazy in saying that this is something that I feel like is just I've seen a resurgence of? Maybe it's because I've been paying more close attention since NBNR.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's tough in an era like this with the transfer portal and NIL, and there's always greener grass. You think, but I don't know. I think there is people that are the face of the program that do represent this university really well. I mean, you could even just go back a little bit with Adrian Martinez. Like that dude is exactly what you want. If you want to like put a guy that's like, I want someone to be the face of this university, face of the program, who could sit in front of this microphone and talk about this university. He's literally the poster child for that. I think Dylan's the same way. So I don't know. And I feel like, like a local kid like Mojo, like, of course, like the dude probably grew up literally dreaming to play for Nebraska. So I think it's just harder though. Like if you want to talk football, like it's going to be really hard when that walk-off program is just dead now because, we have to get politics and everything else involved.
But here's, you bring up repping the end, being proud of it. And of course it helps that the best softball player is getting the most attention right now. And she's from here and all that. But dude, like just the Matt Rule thing. How many times have we talked and said that he's more Nebraskan than the other guy? It seems like at times
100%.
And he's repping it proudly. Like I'm not going to say the other guy was like ashamed of it or anything, but it's like you got Matt Rule out there doing this, doing that, wearing the red, whereas the other guy was a little more reclusive. And
who's the other guy?
So I guess my point is, like you brought up Dylan, but we see athletes from all kinds of sports supporting not only other Husker athletic programs, but we saw at a Supernovas game, we see Harburg and Harper Murray and Dylan Raiola, and Dayton was there as well, who's a commit for 26. Indeed. Yeah. But we see this insane community outreach while repping that in. And I think it's been a long time since I've seen this program so dedicated, not only to the University of Nebraska, but Nebraska as a whole. I think there's just been this major culture shift within the university. Again, maybe it's because I'm paying more attention over the last few years as I was when I was in college, but it seems like they're reaching.
Yeah. And I think to a large degree, you're a product of your environment, right? Like obviously as the head coach, you set the standard for what your culture beliefs are and what you want, the values that not only your players, but their parents, their families, your assistant coaches, like you want that to be out to what you live by, those values that you live out. And I think you do see that, with one, just the communication that you have within your teams. Like when you're around a team, you can tell if they're close or not. You can tell when you're, standing in a hotel lobby and you got 4 dudes hanging out over here and you got maybe the freshmen hanging out over here. And then you got the senior recluses over here. Like you can see it. And you don't see that a ton. I mean, I don't see it at all with our baseball guys. Like Josh Overbeek, like you would think seniors sit in the back of the bus. I sit towards the front. Overbeek's always right behind me with the freshmen. Like guys are talking to each other and they're around each other all the time. They're playing hacky sack with each other. Like, and you're starting to see that with the football things too. And I think when you're around it all the time and you're hearing it all the time, and the baseball team breaks down every huddle with family. And Will Bolt is the model of that. Like, they treat Nick and myself like we're a part of the team. You know, there was a game in which I have a 4-year-old daughter. She came to me with the game. And, you know, I'm a little nervous, like, how are they going to receive this little girl, like, being around with me all the time? And they could not have been better. You know, we're in Will Bolt's office doing the pregame show interview, and of course she's interrupting me, and, you know, right before a game. And it's like, I do everything I can to give the coach their space on game day. And he's talking to her like she's his daughter.
Yeah.
And I see players giving her balls and getting her Gatorade in the dugout, like, completely unprompted. And that doesn't come from nowhere. That comes from the type of kids and the character that you recruit into your programs. You're not just chasing dollar signs. You're not just chasing wins. It's all about how do you fit the fabric in what we're doing here at Nebraska. And that leads to wins. Like, there's a reason why we've won 5 straight series. And it's not that Nebraska's the most talented team in the Big Ten. It's they believe they're going to get it done. They believe in the 9th inning, we're going to score these 4 runs and we're going to win this game. And you don't do that if you're looking out for yourself or you're chasing statistics. You do that because you want to play well for what's on the front of your jersey, on the back, but also the dude standing to your left. Like, that doesn't just happen organically. That happens organically. That's not fake, or that's not manufactured. And that's what you need to see across all the sports. And I feel like the volleyball program is a poster child for that.
I think we've said many times, it just seems like the state of athletics at Nebraska, for the most part, seems on stable ground. I think we would all agree with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not trying to change coaches all the freaking time, and I just think everything is pretty good right now. Football team just needs to get at least 8, and we'll be okay. Okay, because then
Did you see the? I'm sure you guys are big gamblers, right? I know that about you too.
7.5.
7.5. Currently, odds shifted. We are more likely to not exceed 7.5. To that, I say, take my savings. I'm betting the over.
That's fine.
Good luck with that.
We don't want to delve too deep into that.
No, I'm not giving. That's not an official prediction. I'm just a degenerate.
We have a comment in the chat. I think this could segue into kind of our last little bit here to get Ben out of here. But somebody said, "Hey Ben, great work this season. You shouldered the load that Sharpie carried. You're doing God's work." I think that this could be a good kind of way to end the show. But maybe talk a little bit about your time working with Greg Sharp, but then like now doing navigating the behind the mic without him and everything, and how you talk about that family aspect, on the road trip and all that stuff. Talk a little bit about how it was with him and now navigating without him.
Yeah, I might get emotional, but that's totally okay. Sharpie was my ride or die. Absolutely, 100%. Again, I've never vocalized this publicly, but I think it's worth sharing. Right before he left us, I wrote him a letter, and a lot of that I'll keep private. But something I told him is like, I don't really know right now today how many roles that guy filled in my life. That's something that's going to have to play out over time. Like, he went from somebody I looked up to somebody I met, to a mentor, to a colleague, to a co-host, to a legit best friend father. Like, during baseball season, I don't know that people listening or will listen know how much time we spend together.
Oh yeah.
Like, even just one baseball game, you're together all day, right? Games take 3 hours. You're there 3 hours before, you're there an hour after. You times that by 3 for the weekend, 5 for the week, and then you throw in road trips. It's like we're around each other more than we are our wives. That's not hyperbole. And so we had that for baseball. We were together for football. We did the talk show together for almost 10 years. Like, it's been hard to really comprehend to people, not only last year, like going through that when he was still with us and when he was fighting everything with everything he had. Like, we're coming up on a year from that Big Ten championship. And other than my kids being born and my wedding, like, that was the best day of my life. Yes, winning the Big Ten championship, but to see Greg get to have that moment, knowing what was in front of him, meant more than anything. Like, that will top my personal feelings towards that team, towards, seeing the trophy, just sitting back and watching him make that call. Like truth be told, that guy hit the ball in the air. I didn't even see Swanson catch it. I immediately turned to look at him and it was so awesome. And then obviously, getting the diagnosis that we knew ultimately was coming, and in typical Sharpie fashion, he made it all the way to opening day. He left us while we were at the ballpark. I didn't find out till after the game. And then the next day Vanderbilt happens.
Yeah.
It was just poetic. And to have to navigate that, like, my scorebook is a photo of us. The first page, I think I even put out a tweet, like 2025 for Sharpie. Like, I think about him all the time. I try to tell stories on the air every time I think about him when we're on the road, or, something stupid comes up, because I want people to know his sense of humor and like how much he just loved being on the air.
Oh yeah.
And how much he loved the Huskers and how much he bled red. And so any chance I get to talk about him, I do it. This is absolutely wild. And, I meant for this story to stay kind of private, but it's kind of leaked out. And so now I just want people to know exactly how I perceive this happening. So, forgive me, but so we're playing Vanderbilt. Nick and I are obviously a mess throughout the entire game. And we show up to the ballpark. I'm like, hey, and let me back up. So we were supposed to play golf that day. And I was like, dude, I can't do it. Like, I just can't. He's like, we need to get out of here. We can't be in our hotel rooms all day thinking about this. So Sharpie would want us to go. We went. So we played golf. That was awesome. That killed most of the day. Well, we get back to the hotel, and of course, the first thing we're thinking about is the broadcast. Like, how are we going to get through this? And so we don't really speak a word to each other. We get to the ballpark. I put the empty chair between Nick and I look at him and go, hey, we're not scripting any of this. Like, we're just going to go from the heart, and whatever comes out, comes out. Okay, so the game happens. Innings 3 through 8. Completely normal. You're invested in what's going on. It's a good game. It's a great team. You're just calling the game. So the 9th inning happens, and I'm like, oh my God, we might do this. Like, we might beat these guys. This is something straight out of a movie. And I don't know if you guys are religious or spiritual or whatever your beliefs are. I'm not necessarily one way or the other, but I'm telling you right now, this is exactly what happened. I make the final call. We're coming back from break. They're playing my final call. As it finishes, the lights in our booth start flickering.
No way.
Like slowly up. Like if you had a light switch, it's like you're going up, down, like
Whoa.
4 or 5 times.
That's wild.
In the moment, I don't think anything of it, right? I'm just doing the post game. I'm looking at Nick, and I kind of thought it was like the light show that they do with the LED lights. So I kind of stick my head out the window, and like, it wasn't that. And I was like, oh, well, we had power issues against UC Irvine the day before. I was like, oh, it was surely that. So like, I'm looking at other booths, and like, no, it's just our booth. Like right as the final call is playing. And then I look at Nick, and he's got tears in his eyes. And he goes, did that just happen? I go, you saw that? And he goes, yeah. Wow. And it was like every time Sharpie made a big call, he would do this little fist pump, like as he's calling. And it was almost like the exact like rhythmic pulse of how the lights went on and off.
That's badass.
Like, it didn't hit me until I walked down to the field to do Will after the game. I was like, holy shit. That just happened. And then I see, of course, Swanee went nuclear that night, 6 RBIs. And the first person I see going down is Swanee's dad's awesome dude. His mom and dad are awesome. They're at every game, and he's in tears. And now I'm in tears, and everybody's in tears. I'm just like, what the hell is happening? I'm living this out of body experience. And then, of course, the first person I want to tell is Amy, Greg's wife, and his daughter, who are amazing. We still talk regularly, and we've got to see him a few times. Have come to a few games, and they'll always be family. But roundabout way of answering your question, it's been super surreal. I mean, even just this morning driving home from work, I'm thinking about him, thinking, man, a year ago today, it's like he was there with us, right? And I can't describe the pain that it caused me, but it just goes to show how much he meant to me, and not just me. Like, and that's one thing I want to make clear. Yes, he and I were brothers and we were so close, but he was that way with so many other people. It wasn't unique to just me. We had a great moment. Do we have time for another quick story?
Yeah, as long as you want.
So we're playing K-State, and we obviously know, his tie to K-State, and he had a long time broadcast partner there. His name's Matt. Great, awesome dude. And so we're playing in Manhattan, and Amy and all of Greg's family's obviously there that night. Yep. His daughters did the first pitch. And Matt is a jokester, just like I am, like, middle fingers to each other and like, like that kind of stupid child humor. But anyway, so we get to Manhattan and, I put my stuff down and I look over in the window and he goes, gives me the come over signal. And like, I wasn't, feeling or anticipating any type of way, but in 8 seconds, like he has me in tears telling me all these kind words. And one thing I told Matt that I want to make sure everybody hears that was around Sharpie, like, just because I had him last doesn't mean you didn't have him any less.
Yeah.
Like, you guys had him before I had him. I was just the last one to have him. And he had that same relationship with so many different people that he was around. I was just the last one to have it. Mm-hmm. And so obviously it was magnified a bit. Funeral was in Lincoln. I'm from Lincoln. He had, family and colleagues from all over, but that was really cool. Getting to meet all of his old coworkers and his brothers, Mike and Doug have done such a great job with the scholarship and getting closer to those guys. I mean, I had met Mike a few times. I had never met Doug. I knew of Doug, but just making eye contact and shaking his hand from the first time, I felt like we were brothers almost, just because of how well we knew each other. And so I obviously, said what I felt about them and they said the same to me. And yeah, it was an unbelievably challenging time of my life going through that, but I'm a lot better man of having knowing him. He was spectacular.
Certainly appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's heavy. Yeah. That's heavy stuff.
Yeah, it is. And that's okay. Like, that's one thing that, like, even every national anthem, I think about him. And I close my eyes and I take a moment to myself and I just so appreciate where I am. And I think about, I'll do the same thing tomorrow night. Like, how can I, and the question, how can I make him proud tonight? And that's just give it my very best, whether I'm feeling great or not feeling great, or I'm happy from last night's result or pissed off from last night's result. I owe him my best. And that was my promise, is I'm going to give him my best. And so every national anthem, I take a moment to myself. Sometimes I shed a tear. Sometimes I don't. But when we come back from that national anthem, it's right back to stupid jokes. And it's like, hey, Nick, we're going to, yeah. But he, like, and, Nick and I have known each other for a long time. We're in sync. Like, he figured out pretty quick, like, okay, like, I just need my 2 minutes. I'll get my 2 minutes in, and then we're right back on the horse. So, it's been weird. It's been tough, like, just the random bursts of emotion. But that's my biggest thing, is like, I would rather get emotional and tell everybody about him, right, than have all that stuff just stay to me.
Yeah. You're sharing his story by telling the impact he's had on you. And the impact that, frankly, he had on all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I remember we had Jessica Cootie, like, right before he passed, and she talked a little bit about how important he was to her. And it's cool to hear everybody's perspective and just how he's touched everybody in different ways. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And although it is personal to you, and you might be a little ambivalent to sharing it with everybody, I think honestly you'd be doing a disservice if you didn't share those things.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like, I'll be honest, whether this is right, wrong, or indifferent, like I felt guilty getting attention because of it. Like that Vanderbilt game, like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, my phone, it was insane. My phone, like, text messages from people, numbers I didn't know, like, I'm talking hundreds, and the amount of tweets, like, and messages on Instagram. Like, I'm not a super social media guy, but just like Lane Grindle, who did games with us for years, the Milwaukee Brewers, like, I would not be here without him. He has been unbelievable with me, but I'm like, Lane, I don't know how to deal with this. Like, like it's so far above me, but like I'm the closest thing that people had to him at the time. And so everyone's reaching out to me and showing their support, but like, I need everybody to understand. I saw all of your messages.
Right.
I read all of your tweets. I read all of your DMs, and I'm not kidding. Like that helped us, not just me, but Nick and the Husker Radio family so much to everybody's support. Like it was overwhelming is a cliche word, but I was truly overwhelmed. I'm like, if I respond to one, I got to respond to everybody.
Right.
I'm going to be here till next week, responding to everybody. But so I almost felt guilty that like everything was directed to me, but ultimately I understood like this was all for Greg. Like they had nobody else to say this to. So they said it to me, and I'm like, this is all for Greg. Like this is the impact he had on people. And so whatever, like send it my way, send it Nick's way, send it Jessica's way. I don't care. But like, that was really cool is how much and that was what I got to see firsthand with all the messages, how much of an impact he had on everybody, like random Husker fan in Alliance, Nebraska, or so-and-so from, I went to high school with Greg and I live in Texas. Like all these weird, not weird, but like random messages from people that I've never seen or heard from before.
Right.
It was so surreal. It was so surreal.
Greg Sharp is truly
transcendent.
Well, you think about all the various figures that have come and gone through Husker athletics, and it's pretty rare that you get a guy that is so universally loved. And especially when you think of kind of his origins, he was kind of an outsider coming in, and
he still fought that until the very end, from where he was from.
And he fills in a pretty awkward, weird spot when one of our guys just leaves. And it's just very rare, unless you are, Tom Osborne. And even he went through his shit. Okay. Let's not forget that. But just universally revered and loved. And you're talking about how you want to do him proud. And, I'm not trying to butter you up. Okay. But I listen to every single game on the radio, not the fucking TV.
Big Ten Plus. Oh, that's such a good broadcast.
Jeez, God. I think you've made him proud.
Thank you.
Well, Jared,
thank you.
I was about to say the same thing, but the only thing I had to add on was the lights wouldn't have flickered if he wasn't proud.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, and honestly, like it's always been hard for me to accept praise and like compliments, but when it comes to Greg, like I appreciate, I really do. Like, and our baseball fan base is strong.
Oh yeah.
Like every story I tell, like I could tweet the dumbest stuff, but if I tweet about Greg or tell a Greg story, instant.
Sure.
Somebody's listening and somebody's got a response. Like, and that was Greg's gift. Like, I'm not great with like getting recognized in public. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while somebody will say something and I'm so awkward. Like it's so bad. And I've gotten better, but I've always admired that about Greg. Like good situation, bad situation, pissed off that his bags didn't get on and through security. Like Greg always had something to say. And it was always like, damn, that was good. Like it wasn't even on the air. But like, fans in public or asking for photos or like he hated all the attention at the end. Like,
sure.
Like they did the Big Ten network thing. And I'm like, guys, not going to like that. He's not going to like it.
He's having a tough time right now.
And the thing is like everybody came to me with that stuff. So like the baseball team, when they had him recognized, they're like, hey, will you talk to Greg and like ask him if this is okay? I'm like, all right. I can't ask him. I kind of just got to tell him. Like,
because he's going to say no.
You got to be the bad guy.
You got to be there. Yeah. And that was the great thing is like, and honestly, I think he would even tell you that, like, even, the days that were really tough, like I had to give him some tough love sometimes. I'm like, hey, pick it up. Like, get it together. Like I need you to get it together.
I need
like,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but that was Greg's gift is he always had the perfect thing to say. He handled all that attention so well. When we blindsided him with that booth naming,
that was so cool.
He had no idea. And when I was asked to come, I'm thinking it's going to be maybe Amy, his daughters, like me, Jessica. Like I'm thinking there's going to be like 5 people. I walk in, I'm like, holy shit, guys, this is a bad idea. He's not gonna like this at all. And of course, he walks in and he's super surprised, and he just always had that quick wit, that comment that he could say, and he just handled it all with such grace. But like, that's who he was. Is like, every time I get sad and I miss him, because like clockwork, every day between 8 a.m. and 8:15 a.m. Greg Sharp's calling. Wonder what we got today. And it was just like, that Royals bullpen, blah, 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 blah. Or it was, I mean, just the most random stuff. But we talk for, and our wives would get so pissed at us. Like, you see him all day.
Right.
Do you have to be on the phone with them? Like,
aren't you sick of him yet?
Like my wife and Amy, they would say the same thing to each other. Like, this is just ridiculous. But like, it was just weird. Like, I don't know. It's just like, anytime something happens, I got to call Greg and tell him. And so like, now that's what I miss the most, is just like my buddy, you know, just being like, oh, Royals blue bullpen, blue safe. Got to call him. You know, like the Chiefs, we're both diehard Chiefs fans, and we're going through the playoff run. And I'm just like, all right, you know, we got to talk Chiefs. We got to talk all this stuff, because he hated talking about the elephant in the room all the time. But oh man, it was such a roller coaster year, this year, last year. I mean, Purdue's guy, right? I mean, this happened in February. Their radio guy comes in and starts talking about Greg, and it's just like, man, like, I got a text from a guy, you know, a radio guy today that all of our Big Ten broadcasters are meeting down here for dinner. And it's like, I got a podcast to do. I can't go down to do that. So I came here with you guys.
Wow.
And, but anyway, it's just like all those, it's become it's taken on a life of its own. And it's been really cool seeing the impact, not just, you know, K-State has had, but that he's had on all these broadcasters from everybody else. And it's just like, they walk in and they talk to me about Greg. I knew Greg back in 1986. I knew Greg, you know, it's just like, this is really cool to be able to see how many people he's touched.
Well, I will say there would be no Block and Rock podcast if there was no Greg Sharp, because he's kind of the reason we wanted to get into radio or do any of that kind of stuff. It's like, you hear the voice. Yeah. It's like, I want to do that someday. I got into broadcasting because I wanted to do that someday. I heard all those guys make all those crazy calls, and you're like, that's what I want to do. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, just Husker fans and future radio people and people that dream of it. It's cool.
And that's maybe been the biggest thing I've taken away from Greg, is like, he was always there, a job shadow, an email, a tape, anything that he, and I was always kind of like behind the scenes and scared, but now it's like, I'm taking that head on. So like, anytime there's a student broadcaster, I go say hello. I introduce myself, like, hey, like, you know, I'm not Greg Sharp, but like, I can be a resource for you. Like, to be that, I've learned that from him, like, to pay it forward to podcasts like yourself or anybody that's interested in it. Like, if there's any way I can help or just give a word of advice or talk about my experiences or talk about Greg, like, I'm more than an open book now to do it. And I think that's given me the confidence to kind of not be a recluse or not be so worried about statistics or game prep when I'm at a stadium. Like, go shake the other guy's hand. And, you know, it's become a lot easier for me to do that.
Well, and yeah, it's big shoes to fill. And I'm not saying that you're like the next Greg Sharp, but like, yeah, paying it forward. And I'm sorry, I can't get this image out of my head. You and Greg on the phone together, you know, you're laying down on your bed, twirling the phone cord, you know, kicking your little feet. Yeah.
What's going on, Greg?
Sorry.
No, it's all good. God, I wish. Guys, he was just the best. Like, the comments and like the quick wit, and just out of nowhere too. Like,
it takes a special person to just have that knack.
Oh man. Like, and not always to be funny. Like, he loved golf. Like, this dude loved golf, and he was terrible at golf. Terrible. We're playing golf, and I'm playing out of my mind. I'm not a great golfer either. I love to golf. But, like, he was all about being your caddy. All right, so you're 160 out here. Wind's a little bit off your right. You got that tree, so you don't want to be left. You know, you got a creek in front, so we want to make sure we're carrying the creek. You know, we want to make sure we're getting it over the creek. And it's just like, I look at him like, dude, I'm trying to get the freaking ball in the air. Like, you think, yeah, I know. I want to stay out of the freaking water. But like, the best story ever is we're playing golf right before we're playing in K-State, and we're playing around at golf. And this hole is just chewing him up. Like it's the day that I'm playing out of my mind. And I think he had taken like 8 shots and he wasn't to the green yet. And he has a line that I'll still drop to this day, like to people that never even played golf with him. He just walks up to his ball and I'm standing next to him, right? Like we're in the cart and he just picks up. Oh, that's it for Sharpie.
Yeah.
That's it for Sharpie. Just picks it up and I know he's pissed because he was hyper competitive. Like I can just see the steam coming out of his ears. He was so mad that he was just hacking it all over the course. Just picks his ball. Yep, that's it for Sharpie. Like not to be funny,
Yeah.
but I'm just pissing myself laughing. I'm like, oh, that is so good.
Referring to himself
Yeah.
in third person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
And that was it for the hole or for the day?
For the whole.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll see you guys on the next one.
You put the snowman on the card, you just
Yeah.
move on. I've been
Oh
there.
man.
Been there many times.
Oh,
Yep.
shoot. I mean, what a great way to just, I feel like this is a great way to end the episode, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
Unless you have more Greg stories.
I mean,
that
we
you
could
want.
go on.
Listen,
And that's the other weird
Shoot.
thing too, is like I'll be working and on the phone with a coach or something, and a random Greg story, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Like I forgot that even happened. It's like I put out a tweet a while back where I'm just, sipping a bourbon on my patio,
Hell yeah.
and a Greg story came to mind. I'm like, people need to know about this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I posted like a 2-minute long video, and it's dark outside.
Yeah, I couldn't even see your face.
And I'm like, I'm gonna forget about this. So this needs to go out like now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the stuff that I want people to know about him, is like, the stories and just the humor that he had. It's just like, I have all this knowledge about like all this memory bank. And I'm like, all right, it's my duty
Yeah.
to spew all this out for everybody to know.
Well,
It's your
you
burden.
found a platform tonight
Yeah,
because
man. Well-
there's a lot that's going to get spewed out.
Yeah.
You've talked about maybe writing a book someday. I'm saying you write a book of stories about Sharpie, but I want it all handwritten, no type.
Oh God.
And I want
You
it
want
all
nobody
written
able to
in
read it?
Sharpie. If you misspell a word,
Yeah.
you got to cross it out and keep going.
Man, that's the other thing too, is every time I fill out my scorecard, I think about his handwriting. Like
Yeah.
it's the weirdest thing, is like he had this like half caps, half regular writing. And it used to piss me off too. Like he would never save anything. I save all my scorebooks, everything. Brockett threw a no-hitter. All right, see you tomorrow.
Really?
I'm like, dude, you don't want to save that one? Like it used to make me so mad. Like big game or an extra inning game or like a regional, right? Like, all right, yep, lost to Okie State. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. We'll just chuck it in the trash can. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Oh, what are you doing? We're taking Arkansas to game 3.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. Like, we just beat number 1 Arkansas. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, all right. Well, we got to beat them
Okay.
again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, man,
I respect that.
Job not finished.
yeah,
Job not
that's
finished.
kind of how it was, dude. It really was.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
I
What do you
don't
think?
think so. I just
I mean, that
want
was
to
great.
thank you for coming on, sharing some of
Yeah,
these
thank
stories.
you.
I mean, there is so many comments in the chat right now. We've got 140 people watching us. It just
That's
kept
awesome.
growing as the Sharpie stories kept coming. The
Those
people
viewers.
kept listening and staying, and
That's
all kinds of nice comments and stuff about it. So goosebumps. A bunch of people said goosebumps. Kim Kavalak, shout out Nebraska Brewing Company. She said amazing stories. Hashtag Sharpie. So
Yeah.
Freaking A.
yeah, thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Thank you for
Of
coming
course.
on
Yeah.
and skipping a dinner to come hang out with us.
Oh,
What?
no
Yeah,
worries.
Wow,
that's
what a
wild.
dummy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Thank
we
you
had
guys.
pizza, right?
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate this. Was a lot of fun. And I'm right up the road. So,
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
Hanley's been on multiple times. We expect the same for you.
Yeah.
Freaking A.
Yeah.
Or maybe both of you. That would be kind of
have my
fun.
information. I don't know. I don't know. The internet's ready for that.
Well, you listen, all you people out there, listen to him and Nick tomorrow night.
If you're not
Mute.
listening, then go to the
Yes,
game.
that too.
Go to the game.
I can't go. It's my daughter's birthday.
Man.
Otherwise,
yeah.
I would go. So I'm going to be listening.
I have a daughter. I get it. You
Yeah.
got obligation. We'll see you Friday though.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, tomorrow night. I want an updated version of this shirt right here. Okay, I want next year's shirt. I want to wear an updated version.
That
Okay?
would be almost more impressive this year than last.
I would
honestly.
Going back to
totally
that,
agree.
yeah,
Oh, for sure.
100%.
I know. I'm trying to have hope. Okay. NBNRpodcast.com. We are the same handle on every social media site. NBNR podcast. Go follow. No, hey.
No, I'm not there yet. Sorry.
No, that's good. Go follow us. Spotify. We finally reached 100 reviews on Spotify.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Look at that.
4.9. Because one
Whoever didn't give us that 5.
one hater.
One bad.
He was an A&M fan.
Oh yeah. He
Trav, the way we talk about him.
He was part of the L squad.
It was Trav. Sorry.
Yes, he went. Dislike. Fucking Trev. Okay, we good?
Yeah.
We're good.
I'm one of your hosts, Jared Hall.
Connor Cavalack.
Mike Delaware.
Ben McLaughlin.
There it is.
As always, beat Michigan State, beat Tennessee, and GBR.
All right.